breaking news, as first reported by Pete Thamel. Notre Dame has now signed a new head coach for their men's basketball program in Micah Shrewsberry at 5:32 today. Pete Thamel breaking the news on Twitter. As you can see here, a big pickup for the 46-year-old to come to South Bend for Notre Dame. And man, Notre Dame opened the checkbook here rather when we're seeing 7 years north of $4 million, first reported by Jeff Goodman.
Yeah, it's a significant financial contribution for a school that, for many years the question has been, are they willing to make a significant financial commitment to men's basketball? And, much has been made of, Mike Bray and his 20-year tenure having to fight for every little resource he can get with the facilities we have now. That was something that Mike Bray had to fight for. And, I think for Notre Dame, this was something of a big swing. 7 years, $4 million per year is not the type of hire you make if you want to go cheap. That is the hire you make if you're willing to go big on your program. And we'll see how long, Shrewsberry is here for. He's clearly a high riser in the program, but the fact that they were willing to match Penn State's offer, which reportedly was something that Penn State as well was willing to go in on, was a sign of intent for Notre Dame that they are not just going to kind of sit around and let the basketball program do what it is. They want to get a coach that can take it to the next level.
They want to take it to the next level. Now let's take a little bit look at Micah Shrewsberry's career. And it's been mainly focused in the state of Indiana. He's a Hoosier through and through. He's an Indy native before ultimately, as we've talked about, was the Penn State head basketball coach and really has done a good job. However, he got his roots here in South Bend, coaching IU South Bend as the Titans. That's where he's got his first head coaching job, and really someplace that he finds very close to his heart here in South Bend. And then ultimately staying in state again, going to Butler as an assistant coach with Brad Stevens, a name that sounds familiar as he is connected with the Celtics organization. And really, once again, an assistant coach trying to work his way up, then staying on the assistant coach's route, staying within the state of Indiana, goes to Purdue with Matt Painter and was there till 2013. Once again, a great relationship between him and Painter, many have said, and something that everyone's really excited about. And then ultimately, after leaving Purdue, going to the Boston Celtics in Brad Stevens' first year, and then taking the Penn State job. That was in his second year this year, but now ultimately jumping ship from the Nittany Lions to come to the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, you can't beat home. Shrewsberry, it was, kind of the emphasis all cycle, I should say, was that Shrewsberry, for him, coming home was going to be the thing that Penn State, no matter what offer they put on the table, probably couldn't beat. And by all accounts, Penn State made a serious commitment to keeping Shrewsberry at the school. That's also a school where questions have been asked of how willing they are to put the money down, and it looks like they did. But Shrewsberry is someone that wanted to be in the Hoosier State. He got his head coaching roots at IU South Bend. That was his first head coaching job, so maybe a little more sentimentality there. But overall, he's a Hoosier through and through, like you said, and he wanted to be back in the state. And I think that was something that, for Penn State, you can't beat home. And, Notre Dame did what they had to do, 7 years, $4 million, not a, a cheap contract by any means, but they did what they had to do to get him to come to South Bend, and that's where he is now.
Yeah, however, what you see with the Micah Shrewsberry team might be something that you haven't seen. Notre Dame didn't necessarily have a postseason run this year, but Penn State did, as they were able to go into the NCAA tournament and beat Texas A&M in the first round, somewhat of an upset in the 7-10, and he did a great job here. And something that really people are going to have to start looking for, JJ. What do you think Notre Dame's going to start looking like now with Micah Shrewsberry at the helm?
Well, get ready for the three ball, because Penn State shoot a ton of them. They were one of the most three-heavy teams in the Big Ten, and in Power 5 basketball as a whole, they had a bunch of shooters. Andrew Funk, who you're seeing now, had a heck of a game in the round of 64. Jalen Pickett as well, who you're seeing handling the ball now, loves to back down players. It was really a unique offense that Shrewsberry designed, where he gave Pickett the freedom to back down players in the post, even though he is the nominally point guard, and then he spread out shooters around Pickett so to kind of spread that offense out. So really an innovative offense, and one that he designed to fit the personnel on his team.
Yeah.
And I think for Notre Dame, I don't think we're going to see a carbon copy of what he played at Penn State, because I think one of Shrewsberry's calling cards has been he makes his offense fit what players he has on that offense, the strengths of those players. So I think for Notre Dame, it's just going to be a matter of which players come in. In the transfer portal, Shrewsberry has a reputation for being a transfer portal wizard. Pickett, who had possibly an All-American caliber season this year, was a portal pickup for Shrewsberry, his first one, and that's somewhere where you'd imagine he would go to get some of his starters next year, given how little the depth currently exists in the Notre Dame's basketball roster. So I think if you're Notre Dame, I don't think there's a clear indicator of what exactly Shrewsberry will do. Yeah. What I do think is he will adapt the offense to whatever he thinks will make the players in the offense work best.
Yeah. However, they also made it to the second round, ultimately losing only by 5 points to Texas in a tough one. And once again, this is a coach that brings in a little bit of a tournament experience, something that Notre Dame is looking for. They want to have more deep postseason run. Last year, Notre Dame under Mike Bray did do a good job of making it deep. However, they just didn't get over that precipice. And this is a coach that I think many in the Notre Dame community feel that can get them over that precipice, and especially in a tough conference such as the ACC, this could really make them one of the best of the best.
Absolutely. This Penn State team played its best basketball in March, which is something, in a sport that you're basically your entire legacy, ask Mac Payton about this, gets defined in March. It's what you want to see. They won 6 of their final 8 games, I believe, or maybe it was 5 of their final 7. Point stands, over the back end of the season, this team played its best ball. They pulled 2 upsets in the Big Ten tournament to make the Big Ten tournament final, where they eventually lost to Purdue. They won in the round of 64 against Texas A&M, a team that many were kind of touting as a trendy pick to make the Sweet 16 or farther. So this is a team that knows, or rather a coach that knows how to win in March. He's shown he can win in March. It's just a matter of, can he translate what he showed Penn State, which was a very senior-laden, a very experienced core. Can he bring that to Notre Dame, where next year, presumably, it's going to be a very young team, a team that's going to need to kind of instill that mentality in. It's not going to be pre-existing. But what he has shown is this is a coach that has what it takes to win in March. He's put his best foot forward on the biggest stage. I think for Notre Dame, that's something that was probably a major factor in your decision to pick up the phone and make the call. Yeah.
Once again, Micah Shrewsberry coming to Notre Dame, a deal worth 7 years, north of $4 million. However, we'll have this in all the news breaking down within the new head coaching hire on Friday on Shamrock Sports. For JJ Post, for Jake Miller in the back, I'm Jake Irons. This has been a breaking edition of Shamrock Sports. Thank you so much for watching.